And how do you feel about race-blind casting, Daphne?
Well, as an Asian woman, I think it's cool. I mean, not to oversimplify a thorny issue, but everyone loves it when white people...
Honestly, the only reason I decided to give this show a go is because people are sadistic and like seeing me unhappy.
It's Velma from school. You cheat off me in Spanish because you think I'm Mexican.
Maybe. I have a disease where I can't recognize people who aren't hot.
One thing that's important to know about the show is how on the nose it is. Uncomfortably so. And I have 3 theories as to why this Velma show is so loathsome.
Maybe we could find the camera together?
Together? Oh.
Oh yeah, just because it's mine. But
Phew. I thought you were, like, suggesting a date.
a date? You wish. A date? What?
One thing that it is not is funny, which is what I'm guessing they're intending for it to be, or not, based on the theory that I have. So let's get into the very obvious things that we see first. Everybody is race swapped, except for Freddy.
I haven't finished going through puberty yet. They'll laugh and never respect me as the man and unquestioned leader that I am meant to be.
Freddy, the leader of the group, or the Scooby Gang, has now been reduced to a character who apparently has a massive insecurity. He can't be the man his father is.
I am real! A real man, Father! I'm trying to pull myself together so I can be the man my father expects me to be.
Zam, Dilf City.
And as seen before, he hasn't gone through puberty, or is still going through it, or whatever. Velma, who was a much-loved character who fitted nicely with the Scooby-Doo gang, and who everyone depended on for exceeding intelligence, has now been transformed into an insufferable, sociopathic, and insecure beyond snotty character. The character itself looks like she's cosplaying as the real Velma, and I'm gonna call her the real Velma because this is clearly not Velma. Oh, and the next thing is, obviously that Scooby-Doo is not in here, and that's probably one of the best things that could happen, because you can imagine how horrible it would have been if they had put Scooby in the show. It would have disgraced the mascot. Imposter Mindy Velma is so full of herself that she wouldn't want the dog stealing her spotlight anyway, and for all we know, if they had put Scooby in there, they probably would have turned him into a cow and changed his name to PETA.
What if she took it from Brenda after killing her to...
Before I get into the 2 theories as to why this show is painfully and seemingly purposely bad, let's get a rundown at least the first episode. Velma doesn't want to solve mysteries.
Ugh, this school sucks.
Daphne, sorry, not real Daphne, Asian Daphne, is taking a shower with all the other high school girls. Don't know why all of them are nude. They claim that it's because, do you notice in the pilots, there's got to be like sex and nudity? So they all start talking about it, but they make it look like it's time for like this philosophical discussion or a mini discussion because they're trying to show how meta they are. Honestly, not interested. Velma, because she's a creepy freaking sociopath, charges in with a hoodie and a getup and assaults Daphne. Then they find a girl who is in the locker room with her brain missing and her head chopped off, or a piece of it. Velma keeps getting haunted by these freaky Skeletor hands. 2 lesbian officers say that she's a suspect in the case. Her last name is still or whatever. So they're all like, well, she was found in your locker, that dead girl, and you were lurking around the place like a freaking idiot, so what do you want us to think? Obvious she has a crush on Fred, but he's a stupid white boy who's super rich, but has a massive insecurity. And I'm just gonna get it out of the way. That is because he hasn't hit puberty and whatnot, and he has a small doo-doo. They don't know who killed Brenda, and guess what? Yes, you guessed right, they're gonna try and pin it on Fred later.
Is that?
Excuse me?
Don't you raise your eyebrows at me, Steve Harvey. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
They hold a funeral. Velma and Fred show their feelings in a very unfunny, but they're trying to be funny kind of way. Velma thinks that because she went trying to solve a mystery with her mom, or behind her mom's back because she thought it was fun, that for her birthday or Christmas, she accidentally found her presents, which caused her mom to want to go out and get a present she could unwrap on Christmas Day, and that's it. And after she went out to go get Velma's present, she just never came back. So Velma has her whole life thinking that because she tried to solve that mystery, her mom didn't come back, so now she doesn't want to solve mysteries. Then freaking Norville pops out. Turns out he really likes her, but he's ultra friend zoned. And like, can we take a second, real quick? Why do they do my man's like this? Like, it's not even just Shaggy. You're trying to make a character who's clearly not Shaggy. Changed his name, but everybody else kept their name. What's up with that? Why? Because there's already a Jamaican artist named Shaggy? Don't tell me they weren't trying to be offensive, because they're doing that with every single thing else, and they still managed to make it offensive, even with this character. Look at him. He looks like a glass of milk. And I don't mean that in like a complimentary way. I mean like an actual cup, an actual glass with chocolate milk in it. I'm sorry, look at it.
Why did they make Shaggy from Scooby-Doo black? And why is Daphne Asian?
Honestly, wouldn't have been mad if they made a hot Shaggy, or even make him look like that guy that was just commenting. He looks more like Shaggy than this character does. But let's be fair, the whole running gag is that the only black character of the gang doesn't have the nickname Shaggy anymore and looks like a freaking pup. Velma guesses it's the freaking mate that her dad's smashing. It's not. Velma tries to change her personality just so people think it's not her. Someone calls BS, and then Fred saves her life and ends up chopping off somebody's feet. And he's like, she's a loser, but you know, whatever, we need her. Daphne tells Velma it's been a year that they've been dating, and Fred will not take his pants off to show her, either because of his smooth legs, because he hasn't hit puberty, or because his penis is small or not there. Who knows? And I find it funny that Velma pretends that she doesn't know that Norval likes her or whatever. And there's another reference to drugs with him, but instead this character is anti-drugs. Stay away, they could be dealing drugs, and they put the marijuana leaf there. It's supposed to be funny because, you know, the running gag was that the old Shaggy, the real Shaggy, sorry, is a pothead. But out of all the stereotypes they put here, they make sure to really hammer down that the only person who we made black to replace the pothead is not a pothead. Because you know the whole negative connotation with that. Don't know why there's a negative connotation over a freaking leaf. Anyway, Velma still feels guilt over her mom disappearing, and she's haunted by it. While she's on the phone with Norval, aka not Shaggy, she's like, I'm having a panic attack. She's like, nobody likes me. I'm weird. And he's like, that's not true. I like you. And she's like, haha, you told me a joke. That's so freaking funny. You're so humorous.
I wasn't joking. Your face is why I get up in the morning.
That's perfect. One more time should do it. Make it super cringy.
You're the main character in all my dreams.
I like how one of the funniest things they've done is that they turned Shaggy into a black dude, and they made him an ultra simp who was friend-zoned by a monstrosity that nobody would care if they were friend-zoned by. Even looking like a souvenir cup from the movie theaters, he's still a better catch than this. That's when Velma runs into him, Freddy, and he's like, oh my god, I'm like insecure. And, you know, whatever. He's shot in the leg by the two lesbian police officers. I keep pointing this out because they made a big deal about it, so. They're like, you're free to go, and whatever. And Freddy's like, wait, you guys are arresting, wait, I'm a suspect in killing Brenda? I didn't kill her. I wasn't gonna do anything to Velma. I was gonna offer to pay her off. And then, you know, Velma's like, I'll keep the present. This is a present that she doesn't want to open until she finds her mom. Then they find another dead body in the garbage, and its skull top is also off, and its brain is missing, which means the killer is still out there, but don't worry, in episode 2 they're gonna try and blame it on Freddy. Ooh, now with that out of the way, thank God, here are my two theories as to why Velma is insufferable. The first one is the showrunners are being over the top with all the things they know will piss off fans and trying to make fun of it so they can act like they got to making fun of themselves first before the fans did it. They're trying to make it look as though this is what they did on purpose, so if people say the show sucks, they can counter with, no, that's what we were trying to do. We were trying to make fun of wokeisms. They're also probably trying to throw it in the face of the fans to tick them off on purpose. And you may ask, why are they doing all of this? Quite simple. For the very reason that you're watching this video and why I'm making it. Because bad press is still press. Although I don't understand why that helps with the overall longevity of this show that they're calling Velma. But I have a feeling they don't really care about that. And I'll get into that in the second theory. You see, they think that they are doing the trolling because for the longest while, it's become pastime to insult the people from whom you need money. I seriously don't know how that translates to you getting more money, but people are severely lacking common sense these days, so that's why they put out things like this.
According to TV, it's morally okay to deal drugs if your life is just kinda crappy, like your kid's sick.
Those are all white people, Daphne. Minorities on TV can only deal drugs to escape poverty.
Fred Jones was arrested for murder.
Well, thanks for me.
But there is another possibility. Good old nepotism.
I find nepotism repulsive.
Somebody sucked off somebody else really hard and they had such an epic climax that they were willing to just say yes in that moment to anything the sucker asked the suckee for. Can't make fun of us if we make fun of ourselves, am I right? My second theory is, for the same reason I believe they made Rings of Power.
Every woman on the show, every female character, we don't serve the men around us.
Check out my review and commentary here if you're interested or you're still wondering whether or not you should even give that a try. So yeah, I believe they did it for the same reason they did Rings of Power, and that is for tax write-off. I really wouldn't put it past studios or certain people making movies or shows that they know are going to flop for that purpose. They make something that barely takes any effort or doesn't require passion or time put in to make a deep story, and they'll make something controversial to get people talking about it. So if anyone takes a look, they'll see their show pop up with a bunch of articles and videos. Those are the only two reasons that would explain why this abomination called Velma, in quotations, was even made. I mean, Velma isn't even Velma anymore. And Daphne is just an Asian woman with orange hair. And oh, I guess they like totally have the hots for each other now. What is it with also changing freaking red hair characters? It's just, I swear, with redheads, I don't know what's going on with Hollywood or main studios and changing redhead people. What do they have against redheads? Also, with this show, call me crazy, but it feels like a 70-year-old man wrote this and he thinks this is what edgy hipsters are into now and how they talk and what they want to watch. It's ironic how the show seems to be so aware of itself but yet so unaware at the same time. I'm not even gonna waste my time getting angry over this because it's clear that they're trying to bait people. Regardless of the underlying reason, it is so painfully obvious that I don't even want to give my time to it. Yes, I know. Aside from making this video. It screams, look at me, give me attention so I can tell you guys how racist and misogynistic you are and how you women criticizing me are pick-me's. If you have somebody who's super egotistical and narcissistic and annoying and they keep pointing out how much they are, newsflash, it doesn't make them any less egotistical, narcissistic, and annoying. It just makes people want to ignore them. So I would say, yes, avoid Velma at all costs. Whatever the hell this is supposed to be, avoid it unless you're into being dead inside and having that kind of, I guess if you can call it comedy. Remember What We Do in the Shadows? Those freaking energy vampires? I feel like these are the kind of shows they would create. It's quite different if a show or a movie is really bad and they were actually trying to take themselves seriously, which is what makes it at least entertaining when it comes to making fun of it. Hell, I will make fun of anything because that's just my personality type. I love poking fun. My friends and I would do it all the time, especially when I was growing up. But with movies, there's no personal attacks attached to it, or at least there shouldn't be. You're just putting out something and people are pointing their fingers at it and saying whether it's shit or not. That I can at least respect.
If I want Velma to like me now, I'm just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Bet a friend I can make her fancy.
That's how we got together.
What I don't respect are shows like Velma, at least the season 1, and the first couple of episodes, because that set the tone for everything else. I don't respect shows that are straining so hard that they're trying to give themselves a hernia trying to be edgy, or trying to make people dislike them on purpose, thinking that will hide all their flaws if they just try to make something good and it ends up bad. It's cowardly, and it's giving inept.
So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Boy, if you don't...
That reason, I don't even respect the Velma show enough to watch it any further. Holy crap, at this point, I would say that a show like Willow, which is an absolute rhinoceros cesspool of tiger vomit and hippo fetuses, is better than this crappy show starring this imposter they're calling Velma.
Only every day of my life. On TV shows, the malt shop owner is always a friendly black man or a spicy and meatball Italian.
No, she didn't.
And freaking Black Shaggy, Norville, who took a moment with some awkward silence at the end to let people know that even though they turned the character black, he doesn't do drugs.
I think it has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
The freaking cringe and the undertones of racism in the show are just beyond comprehensible. Yes, I stand by what I say. The Willow Adventure is better than that shit. Don't believe me? Go check it out yourself. I do a play-by-play on each chapter of the adventure, and man, oh man, it enrages me. You know what? But at least it gets a reaction out of me. And I also believe that the show was made for the purpose of nepotism. Somebody was sucking someone else's ass so that the show could be made, and certain people should be the stars of the show. And when you watch the adventure in my playlist, you can see the link provided. You'll actually see what I mean, because holy parrot shit, that was awful. With Velma, it's just nothing. It's a cringy and pathetic whimper for attention because it feels as though the minds behind it are highly insecure or highly deranged. That is all. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.